Here we are again, people. Back on the beach. So we had Storm Amy. This is the aftermath from Storm Amy. So we're that's just so quickly that's settled down. But I was looking at the wave heights and things, and it's like by about I think 5 o'clock, something like that, it was saying that the swell was going to get down from like 1.5 meters down to about 1.1, something like that. So that's a lot better, and you can see that is well and truly fishable. Downside from a sort of a northerly swell and a Storm Amy like we had, you do get a little bit of weed, which is this little culprit here, look. So that stuff there. So it's going to be a bit of weed about, but we're here now, so we're just one rod. So we are, it's just gone 3 hours, it's about 2 hours and 45 until high water. So I've literally got 7 baits on me, and pretty much designed for each bait to last about 20 minutes. We're fishing whole squid, and I've got a mackerel head and a whole mackerel as well to try, and we'll give it a go. We will give it a go. So just here, I was thinking of fishing just here. I was thinking it, because if I did get something, that'd be easy to land it. I was thinking it. It's roared all the sand out. Incredible. So yeah, it's just relatively big tide as well. But even if it, yeah, so we might fish here, we might keep walking, we'll see. Probably go to the next one, I'd imagine. We'll see. Right, so we're just rigging up. Get the reel on. There's a bit of sea mist out there. So that's warm air, which we've got, and a colder sea. The old fog. The old fogger. Reel on. Like that. Does it eye through? Yep. So I usually start on my 7 minutes. No, not a breath of wind. Lovely, lovely, he says. We've got a, also have to check, see what the line's been doing from the previous session. Do I need to do a sort of a practice cast just to get the line lay correct? But usually I like to leave it on the last cast, but just depends what's happening. Usually if you had a disaster session, then you just can't wait to get the bloody car. Face sort of catching a little bit. Oh, come on, you. Come on. That's got it. Yeah, so it's bunched up a bit. This is what I'm talking about. You see it's bunched up a little. Ooh, bunched up high there, you see. So that's exactly what would happen on the first cast if you don't address it. It's easy to be sort of super keen and eager and or inexperienced, and you don't action it. You have to action it. So when all you do is you literally watch out for dogs. You don't want a dog to get bloody caught up in the bloody line while you're doing this. You literally just, there's lots of ways you can do it. You can flick a lead out a little way and walk away from it, or you can just do it like this. Just sort of get as much line off as possible. You literally just start again, and I won't save the battery on this. Right, the business end. Right, so just one calamari, frozen. All you do large or small ones, whatever's in the... Generally, you want to, when you buy them from the shop, just flip open the lid and just find ones which are sort of medium to sort of largest sort of size. Sometimes the little baby ones, no good. They've got to be sort of, and there's got to be the Californian one. Lund squid, I can't remember what this one is. I find is the best. And you literally, all we're doing, we're just sort of threading the line through, like so. I don't think you can see that very well. And try to do it so I've got enough line, and also I can show you what I'm doing. And you literally will get the hook through the head, like so. You can see that? Heavier lead this time, and then you just pull it through the skin and then shove it back through, and that is it. And that's how it will sit on the seabed, like that. But it won't survive the cast like that. So what I do, where's my bloody cotton? Cotton's in the container now, state of the art stuff. What you want to do, and just the hook point going through several times has got the scent releasing from it. This bait should be right for 20 minutes, I would say. Fish a whole squid like this. Put a few around this end, the eyes, because the head can fly off, you see. You don't want that to happen. So put quite a lot around there. Take your time doing this. That's got to be presented spot on. It's got to survive the cast. So you want the real thin cotton, finest one you can get, or the medium one. You don't want that stodgy stuff. If there's plenty of fish about, it probably will still work. But and then what you do, this sort of arrow tail section, you just put tons around there, because that's taking the full whack of the cast, you see. The end, so the two ends, the middle bit wants to be secured a little bit. Make sure you've got loads around there, all overlapped, and that's it. That'll survive the cast. Succulent bait, the head's on there as well. And that is that. One thing I forgot to do, so even I do this a bit and I've even forgotten, that hook, it's got no support. So what you have to do, you have to sort of go round the hook a few times in the opposite sides to each other. It's hard to explain, but I'll just show you what I mean. I'll tell you why I'm doing that. It's probably alright now. You've probably already worked it out. The reason why I've just done that is if I touch the hook, that's firm now. That's where before that would spin. I'll tell you why, because I want the hook to stay exposed, clear like that. That's what I want to do. So what you can do, you know, you can rig up a tray so you can have a few of these ready. That's the bait. Another hook here would be good as well. But I find with just one hook, you've got less chance of a tangle when you cast like this. There's lots of different ways to do it. You just got to generally not agonise over it too much, but just got to think, like, is it tangled? Is it secure? Is the hook exposed? Do you know what I'm saying? They're just constant sort of questions you're asking yourself. Let's go give it a cast. it's so warm. So warm. See, it's just what it's doing. It's gone out a fair way. What we'll do, just let off a little bit of line. Like that. So, really don't know what to expect other than maybe a bit of weed there, but nice sort of lull in there, nice sort of sea out there, nice sort of sea. Just going to push us back up here, that's for sure. I was thinking about moving and going up back up towards the car park. Big tides. Just waiting to see. Is that weed on there, is it? Ah, you can see some weed on the line. Oh bloody hell, my the line's just dragged right round. As the tide gets closer to the top, the tide's going to ease off. So that should make my life a bit easier. But that's just dragging at the minute, that lead. Sure why. It's bouncing. Could be a fish. It's bouncing across the bottom. Okay. On the move. It's on the move. It's even pulled the sand spike round up. Right, as we expected. So the theory goes, when it's like this, you drop it short. That is the theory. So that's something we can do. Right, that's that. We're putting a slightly different lead as well. Gone for a slightly less of a lead, but it's a bit grippier. It's the breakaway. I think it's a breakaway. So we've got a bit of shitty weed on there, but it's not too bad if we're just going to be mucking around like we are. So the bait's still okay. That's the new lead. New lead. The bait's still will be okay, so we're just looking to sort of not flick it too far. Remember the tide's coming in, so we'll give this one about, because it's already been out there a little bit, we'll probably just give it 15 minutes until we sort ourselves out. Not a lot of wind, so I could really heave this if I wanted to, but it'll probably go quite a way anyway. Quite a slimline bait. That's as far as we're going to get, I think. That's okay. It's okay. I mean, I would have liked to have gone. I could have made it gone a lot further, but because of this weed, just want to be out there fishing. So I'll be casting from back here in a few minutes, with the next cast probably, because it's just going to get too difficult. Keep the line up high when there's a lot of weed about. And I've got all my stuff positioned on that revetment there. I made a mistake of keeping that line out of the water. Keep the rod tip high. That's already picking up a little bit of weed just there, look. So get that stuff in the bag, because eventually we'll be back up there. One of them trips. Yeah, it's just a bit of shit out there, really, as you would expect. There'll be fish there too. Might change the rig a little bit this weed. I'll see what the bait looks like when it comes in, because at the minute we've got traditional sort of paternoster coming down, and the weed's going on the line, the lead, and even the bait on that last cast. So in effect that just screws the fishing. But what you can do, you can have a lot longer leader, just tie it to the lead, something like that, and have it sort of maybe sort of 5 or 6 feet long, and just traipse it behind the back of the lead, so all the weed will catch on the leader, the lead, and maybe a little bit of your trace, but your bait should be fishing on its own, even though there's a bit of weed pinging around. That's the theory. That is the theory. I think I might try it. Because what I can do, I can leave this fishing now. I can rig that up on a longer trace, on a different hook. I can snip this one off and literally just have it baited up now, ready to go. All I've got to do is tie it on. So that's what we'll do. Right. As you can see, there's a lot of weed about. A lot of weed. Weeded out, so I'm going to change the rig. God almighty. Right, try something different there. So I just snipped off the hook. What we're going to do, push the wires back up, he says. Just going to nip them a bit tighter actually, because I'll do that by just squeezing them there. So snip the lead off, snip the hook off here. Right, so we'll go back to it if this doesn't work out, but this should work out. And I've got the squid on about a 6 foot trace. Now what I'm going to do, going to tie it onto the lead. Tie it onto the lead. Fix it. Can't go anywhere. And I'll cast it off the ground. Just get this through there like that. That's all right. Right, that ain't going anywhere. Right, that's it, that's the rig. So there's the bait. So all the weed is going to catch the main line, all that stuff, and we'll cast this off the ground. I'll show you that. On a 7. There you go. So it's about 6 foot. I'm not sure how this is going to work. So I don't usually like to get myself in this situation, but it is what it is. So what I'm going to do, just going to cast it off the ground like so. Angling it down. Ready, 1, 2, 3. well, for some reason, didn't actually go as far as I thought it was going to go. Yeah, why didn't it go as far as I thought it was going to go? Let's have it back. Let's just caught a load of weeds straight away, look. All I can say near right near the top of the tide, that lays off, he says. It's like, I'll be very honest, this is a bit of a turned into a bit of a nightmare. However, if you pull out a good fish doing this, that soon gets all forgotten about. That's the only sort of thing I can sort of say about it, really. Right, so let's try something a bit different. The swell should be easing off for the last sort of little bit, and I can sense it's got a little bit smaller. There's a hell of a lot of weed out there, but sort of just going to keep persevering with it, because we're not going to be doing it all day. So I was only planning to fish the high water anyway in an hour and a half's time. So we're just going to do the same thing again. Magnet's doing. Have to double, yeah, the magnets are. Try 6. Hopefully that went all right. We've got the prey that doesn't tangle, you see, doing that, but that's the only way I can keep a bait away from the leader, because the leader's just cloaking the bait, you see, and you won't get anything. So that's not too far a cast. That's all right. That is. The weeds, that should ease off a little bit. But a little bit close to that thing there. We'll see how it happens. That'll drag round eventually. That's going to collect line. Sorry, weed. Let's just wind it a little bit. We're high up there anyway, so I've got to move this stuff pushing me back now. Be a little bit careful, the bloody car keys are in here and everything. So one good wave, right, must take everything up. One good wave and that's we've been done before. Like that one there, look. See, it's about an hour and 20 to go. I'm wondering if we've got enough space on this beach to fish. The it's quite steep here, so as long as we don't get a landslide, we'll be fine. I'll just put plonker there, plonker there. Go get my water. But tomorrow, the sea is gone flat calm. There'll probably still be a bit of a roll on, so I probably should have come tomorrow, but I've got other plans. So it's always a bit of a gamble. I should have known better really, because I checked the webcam and I could see some weed on one of the webcams on the beach. I didn't think too much of it. Previous sort of times I would have gone, oh no, I ain't gone fishing because there was weed on the beach. But for some reason, because I like to fish when there's a bit of a swell on, and you can see the swells are going down the next day. It's these sort of seas. Oh, sorry. It's these sort of seas. I'm just going to hold the rod, I think, while we're sort of caught around the bloody. That's off. Just going to move it. Away from that bloody thing. So it's all go. That's like a bloody workout up there. Don't need to go to the gym. But all it's going to take is one really good lunker, and that'll probably end the session, because there's some big ones there, look. Still trying to get it in here. A little bit further back. It was easier there. Probably good enough. Chap a few years back, he's fishing night time. He came down after work and he done a video that's on YouTube. It's a few years ago now. He was using lugworm. He spent a fortune on big box of peeler crab, and he sort of just went after work. He'd sort of gambled to sort of, you know, to try and get one. And he come down, that was just like this, weed, good slop on, weed, and he casted short, and he had one of about 8 pound on peeler crab. It's a really lethal bait for bass. It really is. If you want to, you know, chuck the money at it. I've done it a few times in the noughties when there was still quite a lot of codlin to be caught off the beaches, and I went down. Where did I go? I think I went Suffolk actually, and I had one bass, about £4 or 4.5, whatever it was, and then I had a cod, picked up a whole peeler crab. That was about £6. So I had the bass and the cod at the same time, which was lovely, and that was on some Devon peeler. That was. I mean, back then it was like 50 quid for a box or whatever it was. And I've done it a few other times. Whenever I've got it, or whenever I've made the effort to fish when the fish are there, that's always paid off. Always. It's always been the difference between a sort of a fish or not, or a good fish actually. So we're just gambling really. I mean, You just need it a little, the weed, you just need it sort of, it's probably sort of tonight's tide or tomorrow's tide when the weed sort of eases off. So I've got to watch this line, look, getting low. Oh, that's steel, that is, you see. That's a steel sort of, what's it called, revetment. So I've got to wind it in a little bit to try and get a bit high because the weed's pushing it down. But we might be off here in a half an hour, we'll see. But I'm going to hang on just to see if we can. So we're fishing mackerel head here. The last time I wound it in, that weren't tangled. Lovely day though. So it's just catching on that. Got to keep it up. Mind pulling that off actually. Bloody stuff in it. Ah, I don't want this. Big wave. I think it's going to have us off the beach in a minute. Fucking hell. So it went calm. If you get, that's the thing, you see, you get a set. It goes calm for 20 minutes, so then you get the set come through, and then it wallops you. As I always say, you should, you know, if you're fishing off rocks and things like that, watch the sea for 20 minutes before you start fishing. Because after about 20 minutes, that's when a set comes through. I suppose it depends on where you are, different parts of the world and stuff like that, but you can see what a difference that was making, that weed there. So the fact that we're only planning to fish until 7 o'clock anyway, and it's now about an hour to go, light's starting to go. It might get more fishable as the tide eases. Yeah, I've got an hour and a quarter. Hour and a quarter. So we're just gonna hang on. We're just gonna hang on. Persevere with it. It's not, you know, it's not dragging round anymore. Well, not as bad anyway. If the weed wasn't there, that's a perfect sea. That's perfect. You want lugworm, boom. That. Well, it's a gorgeous evening. Gorgeous. If it weren't for this bloody weed. See a fish. That's really sort of. Obviously with that weed all around your line, it'd be very, very difficult to sort of relying on them hooks to do their thing. The old barb. Just have to manage. Just have to manage. Beautiful. Beautiful evening. High pressure. That old rod tip up there, banging away. There's some big waves here coming. That's the concern. Eventually it's going to undo us. We're running out of space, but we're doomed. A shitty weed there. Look at that. Was thinking about fishing somewhere else. Part of the coast, but glutton for punishment. Weed, weed, weed. Sea looks really good. There we go. Just got back on the line again. Hope that old weed eases off. One can hope. Come on, you. Weed eases off and we get lucky with the fish. That's what we want. Oh, what a battle. Why a short session is handy, because you don't get so tired. You know, if you were going to pack up at 7 o'clock, it doesn't matter whether there's weed there or not, you know. So. I definitely feel more confident with this rig in these conditions though. If your bait is sort of, you know, covered in bloody weed, then, you know, sometimes you get like whiting and things on it when it's like that, but that's usually because they've hit it sort of straight away. But too bad at the minute. Too bad. Too bad. Beautiful. Need that fish now. That oily mackerel head. Come on, my boy. Come on. That's a joey mackerel head as well. So that's there for everybody. There's a bloody wave. Actually becomes the tides sort of getting near high water. Another 50 minutes. It's sort of feels like it's now more, it's actually fishable. Where earlier on it just felt like it was a waste of time. Now I just wish I had a load of lug. I'm sort of thinking about contemplating going back to the original rig now. And my mind's going, is that bait tangled or not? And I'm just gonna gamble that it's okay, because I literally feel like I'm fishing at the minute. The lead is actually holding position. The tide's ease and there's less weed catching the line. The lead, the 6-ounce lead, is actually holding bottom. So where before, actually I had I think a green 7-ounce lead, and that was actually dragging right round when I first got down here. Now we just got to hope there's a few fish about. Light's starting to go. Save my battery. So the session has come to an end. It's been a nice afternoon, beautiful sea. I think possibly the next tide, the next load of tides, like the first thing in the morning probably be best. There's still way too much weed around. So yeah, it's just one of those. It's just nice being down here, and yeah, could do with some lug. Too much weed around. We're sort of getting washed off that position we're in. That's another reason. Getting dark. So these things, they all sort of coincide to undo you, really. So that's been all right. That's been all right. Moon's out. I'm not a big fan of all the times to go fishing. I've never really done that well when there's a big bright moon that's not even covered up. Do you know what I'm saying? If there's plenty of cloud around, then that's fair enough. You can see the moonlight shining on the water there. It's got fog as well. We've got warm air on a cold sea. I think it's about 12 degrees. So the air is obviously a lot warmer than that. Just starting to go a little bit misty. But some of the waves are still quite big. They said right now they're dropping to about 1 metre. That's okay. These conditions are perfect if there is no weed, but there's a lot of weed in there. And that's why I'm talking about another maybe in a tide or two's time, so it goes back, comes up, and then fish it, so to speak. But by then the sea will be flat, you see. I sort of just trying to coincide best sort of conditions for a bass, and we really want a big tides, bit of a chop on, and new moon for me. Yeah, right, over and out. I will see you later. Be absolutely perfect. So it's just pushing that in there. alright for now. That'll be alright. That'll be alright. It'll be on the night, he says. Sure. Where's that water gone? Yeah, I find plenty of water. Hello, what's going on there? See, all that weed, you see the rod battling away like that, and you think, oh, there's a bite, there's a bite. But it's just the bloody waves banging that weed. That lead's digging in. See, as it's getting near the high water, the tide is easing. So that means less weed becomes more fishable. A little bit on the big side. No waves. Just a bit. So this session is really about bass fishing, persevering through difficult sort of conditions. Really just by the weed from the storm we've had. But if I leave it till tomorrow, this swell, that's going to be flat calm. But you know, see, bass like a good lump on, you see. But I know you can get them when there's plenty of weed about. So don't let that, you know, that's easy just to pack your bags and just think, oh well, but there's, see, his biggest tide. Certainly I wouldn't want to be investing a lot of money in bait to fish these kind of conditions, but if you're not too far away and you've got some okayish bait, then I personally think it's worth a look. That really is. But your bait has got to be presentable. It's no good having all that weed around your hook. None at all. Okay.